Welcome to the OCP demo. I'm doing this in Blender 4.1.1, but this will also work any Blender version from 3.3 to 4.2. It's a very powerful add-on, and you have two main options. One is you want to grab an active object, and then, hey, I want to OCP everything. Boom, everything is going to get an OCP proxy. If you don't like that, you can delete all the global, and then you can go to selected. And let's just say I only want these objects, not my base or anything else. It's going to emit lights and stuff so you don't get errors, no worries. Now I'm just going to now OCP these objects. Now from here you can go down, grab one active object, you can delete the proxy off of that, okay, or you can just OCP that selected one again. Now if you want, you can add the material that was already on that. Just click add materials. I am going to add a loop for this, and it will automatically update all of the objects, but for right now there's the add material button, and it will bring in the UVs as well. So if we scale this, we can see the UVs will track, and you can kind of scrub through the scale here. It works good. Now you can turn a proxy on or off here, and if you have it on, you can go here and select something like a cube or any custom object you want. Click that. That's loaded in, and now you can click this button. This is going to now use this as the proxy. So that's your custom object, and it's going to transfer the UVs to everything. So it's all automatic. It's behind the scenes. It's working. There's Python. There's other things. There's GeoNodes. All kind of stuff going on behind the scenes to make this work. Now moving down, we do have a low poly option slider here. That's going to work good with some meshes and not with others. But if you have it as a cube, you really don't need a low poly. Not a big deal. Now we go over here, and I'll just turn on statistics, and we can see how many objects, verts, edge, faces, and triangles. So if we were to delete all of these, we have 11,000 triangles, 5,000 faces, quite a few edges and verts. And then when all of these selected, which I think is a good option because you can go into a folder, and let's just say I want to put all these in a new collection. I'll call these selected for the folder, and I don't have these selected. All you have to do is go to the selected folder, right click, come down and select objects. Now you can just OCP the selected object, which is very useful. And now if we look over here, we can see we've dropped the face, edge, and triangle and vert count significantly. And if we delete all of those OCPs, it goes back up to 11,000 here, 11,000 there. So it's a significant drop. And like I said, the convex hull does add a little more geometry, but it's going to be a lot less on certain objects, and you can switch it. So anytime you want, you can loop through. And part of the global controls, I will add that the custom object can loop through everything as well. So you can just add the custom object to it all. And the add-on's kind of growing because I had to rebuild it to match up for the new Blender 4.0 moving forward. So it got a whole ground up rebuild. Much cleaner code, faster add-on, all good. So that is good. Now you have an individual scale for the active object. Then you have global controls, and this will scale all objects. So maybe you just want to kind of bring them down so you can see through stuff or see around things. That will be very useful. You can also toggle on the X-ray here when you're in solid mode. Obviously that doesn't work in material preview. And coming back here, you can now iterate, and these all pop up closed. So if you want to open this and check your UVs and stuff, you can. There's some other buttons here we'll go over in just a second, but these come through closed, so you don't have to worry about that being a distraction and pushing your other GeoNodes or other modifiers out of the way, and then you can't see what you're doing because you don't need to be in here specifically because these options are up here in a more powerful way. Now all of that with this object selected, let's say I want to go from solid to wireframe, I can do that. Now this doesn't have the material on it because I redid everything. So if I click add materials, this is now going to get its material back on the wireframe. And something I find very cool about how this actually worked is that if I do a wireframe here and add the materials on the wireframe, I get the UVs projecting here, which is good. And then also keep in mind that when you are in wireframe, you're going to get wire radius and wire resolution. You're going to crash Blender if you bring your wire resolution up too high. Something like 4 to 6 is more than enough. In fact, if you just kept it around 3, that's pretty good. This is typically, the wireframe is just going to be used to either enhance the look of your render, or you can use it to bring in another level of visibility so you can kind of see through the object. That's the whole idea, is proxies, X-ray, see-through, you know, in front, different things. And so with the wireframe on, you get these 2 extra options. With wireframe off, it will minimize the UI so you don't have a lot of extra junk. And then if you iterate through here, you can turn off the proxies for everything, and you get the little ghost symbol here. Make that bigger so you guys can see it. And then otherwise it will turn the proxies back on, and it will return to the state in which you had it. Now another key point to note, that is while you're turning this feature on and off, this is kind of by design, turning off every single one of these is viewport in the render. You don't need it in the render anyways. You're using it so you can preview it. You're also using it so that during the render you can actually see your mesh object. This OCP is meant to be an overlay, not to be used as a final render, even though it can be. So if you find that it's working good for your UVs and everything, you can leave it alone and turn that on, or just don't mess with this button because it's going to pull it out of the render as well. And I may make that an option. Like I said, this thing's still expanding. I'm trying to make it not a bloated UI. I'm trying to make it very clean so everybody can use it in a more constructive way. But that's about it for that part. And of course, it's going to work with the active object in here. And I will add more global controls soon. But this is looking pretty good so far. And then, you know, you want to do your render. And I'm going to go ahead and clean all of this up. And I'm just going to delete all these. We're going to redo the OCP all. And I'm only going to do this on one. I'm going to transfer the materials so we can kind of see what's going on here. We could do it to 2. Actually, it doesn't matter. So these are in proxy state. We're going to go ahead and render them. And if I render out this image, you can see you not only get your original object, you get your texture with the UVs on it. Now, UVs are a very specific thing. You may have to personally adjust them, and that could be something that you drop in the comments here, or you hit me up on Blender Market if you're having an issue, because the UV transfer on this is through geometry nodes. It is not a one-stop shop with UVs, as we know, but your proxies do not render because it's using the isViewport logic. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for considering the add-on, and thank you for taking the time to stop by and watch the tutorial. I'll see you guys, and just a big thank you to everybody who stopped by, because this channel is about to hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm super psyched, and I really appreciate everybody. See you guys in the next one.